Alright guys, so I've discovered the key to not have to spend countless hours a day in the gym just to get into shape. Before I get into all of that, I just want to make this video because I hear it multiple times a day that people claim that they don't have time to work out. Then I'll ask them a couple questions, just try to get a better understanding of their situation. And their schedules are very similar to anyone who I've ever worked with. They're relatively normal, busy schedules. And don't get me wrong, they are busy schedules at the end of the day. Going to work from 9 to 5, coming home between 5:30 and 6. It kind of depends on traffic. They'll come home, eat with the family, spend time with family. And by the time you get all those things done, it's usually around 7:30 to 8 o'clock at night. And I can see where you're coming from when you say you don't have time to work out if that's what your schedule looks like. Because that's about from 9 to 8 o'clock where it's just nonstop. However, I'm not delusional though. Because some people will claim that they don't have time to work out, but really they're just lazy. And they want to find excuses on why they can't do something. And the reason they do that is just because they need to justify to themselves that they aren't lazy. However, what I can say is that I can see right through that shit. Because if you're going home after work just watching Netflix, smoking weed, doing all this other bullshit, and then you say you don't have time to work out, that's just a lack of priorities and that you don't value your time as much as you say you do. So I'm not talking about those individuals. I'm talking about the individuals who genuinely have a busy schedule and don't know how to implement fitness into their current life. That is who this video is for. So if you're lazy, then you can click off this video because I'm sorry I can't help you. You have to help yourself first. I'm talking about the people who want to better themselves in and outside of the gym. The people who genuinely want to improve their health and therefore improve other aspects of their life. Every aspect of their life, I should say. The people who are motivated that just need the correct information and how to in order to get into shape. Not the lazy people who you can give them literally every piece of information they need to know and they still wouldn't execute because they're lazy and claim they don't have time. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about the people who have been given false information about working out. The people with misconceptions thinking that you have to spend countless hours a day at the gym just to get into shape. I'm gonna explain to you the step-by-step process on how you can structure your workouts to not spend more than 4 to 6 hours a week in the gym. So not only spend less time in the gym, but also see better results. So going back to that other example, it is definitely a long day. From 9 a.m., let's say 8 a.m. because you gotta get ready for work, from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. That is definitely a long day and I can see why you would be tired. So when people will explain their schedules to me in this way, so I'll ask them, how long do you think you have to spend at the gym in order to get into shape? And a lot of times they tell me at least an hour and a half to 2 hours, which if that were the case, they'd be at the gym to about 9:30, 10 o'clock. And then they come home and clean up. It'd probably be close to like 11, which that would make the reason of not having time to go to the gym actually valid. However, that is not the case at all. You see, that's where the issue lies. Because if it actually took that long to get a good workout in, getting in shape would actually be extremely difficult, more difficult than it actually is. However, this couldn't be farther from the truth. And I'm not sure where this came from, but if I were to guess, people don't want you to know the secrets about getting in shape. They want you to stay out of shape, not better yourselves. We all know that most of our peers don't want to see us do better than them. It's either that or they don't have a clue themselves that you can get in and out of the gym in about 45 minutes to an hour and only do about 5 sessions a week. But don't get me wrong, spending extra time in the gym won't be harmful for most people, but it isn't necessarily realistic because we all have lives, families, friends, and other things to attend to other than just work out. The people who do need to spend 2+ hours a day in the gym are bodybuilders, and that's not who I'm talking about in this video. I'm talking to the people who just want to lose fat, build muscle, and just stay in shape year round. There are distinct differences here. So let me explain the exact process on how you can get in and out of the gym in less than 45 minutes to an hour and only doing 5 sessions a week, which means you're only gonna be spending 4 to 6 hours a week in the gym. So the first thing you absolutely need to understand is that intensity is the most crucial part of every single workout. This is the fundamental key to getting a quick and effective workout in. If the intensity is there, then it is actually more beneficial to spend less time in the gym to avoid overtraining. And I'm gonna say it myself, I've had times where I miscalculated when the gym closes on like a holiday or something, and I only had 30 minutes to hit legs. I just did leg extensions and squats, and got out of there in like about 30 minutes and my legs were completely fried the next day. I was extremely sore. Not that being sore is a clear indication of building muscle, but in my opinion, it is definitely a good rule of thumb to judge whether or not your last session was intense. It's a great sign that you actually pushed yourself. So what you want to do to structure your workouts in a way that are very quick and effective is do 1, maybe 2 compound lifts per muscle group and stick with those. Stick with those for as long as you can. So what I do is squats for legs, weighted pull-ups for back, and incline Smith machine bench for chest. I don't really train shoulders that much because they kind of overpower a lot of other parts of my physique. But if I were gonna do shoulders, it would probably be dumbbell shoulder press. The reason I say stick to 1, maybe 2 compound lifts per muscle group is because this is gonna help you build that mind muscle connection. You'll get the form down so you can do an entire range of motion and be able to bring the intensity on every single set with a low risk of injury. You see, I've been able to master the compound lifts I've stuck with because I've been doing them for years. I know the exact tempo to go, the exact time to squeeze and contract my muscles, and how to execute the form properly without having to worry about getting injured, while still keeping the intensity extremely high. So it's best to stick to one compound lift per muscle group, because the more you do it, the better you'll get at it. The more you do the exercise, the more you'll know how it feels, how to do that full range of motion, build that mind muscle connection, train to failure, and progressively overload properly. And therefore, the better you get at feeling your muscles activate when doing those lifts, the more intense you can go, and therefore the more muscle you can grow. So training to failure and having proper intensity and progressive overload is absolutely essential as well. I shoot for a rep range between 8 and 15. If I get more than 15 reps on a weight, I'll increase the weight slightly. Then the opposite goes on the other side of the spectrum. If I can't get more than 8 reps on a set, then I will decrease the weight slightly, just making sure to hit failure within the desired rep range. So now you might be asking, how many sets do you actually do? So per muscle group, you only need about 2 to 3 intense working sets on the compound lifts, which doesn't seem like a lot because it's really not. As long as the intensity is there, you don't need a crazy amount of volume and end up spending 2+ hours a day in the gym. That's not necessary. I still do recommend doing a little bit of isolation movements just to hit the muscles from a different angle and do some pump work. So I recommend doing about 2 to 3 sets on isolation movements as well. However, with a slightly higher rep range, usually between 12 and 15 reps, while still going to failure. And this equates to only about 4 to 6 working sets per muscle group per session, which will probably only take between 30 and 40 minutes depending on how long you wait in between sets. So if you train each muscle group at least once a week, then you're only going to be spending about 4 to 6 hours a week in the gym with doing about 5 sessions a week. So let's tie this into the example from earlier, the individual with a busy schedule, basically busy from 8 to 8. So let's say you go to the gym 5 times a week, spending roughly an hour per session. And what you can do, because probably on the weekends you probably have a little bit more time, is have 2 of your sessions land on the weekends. So it's only 3 sessions during the weekdays when you're the busiest to implement the gym. And for 99% of people, that is 100% doable. But if you were trying to spend 2+ hours a day in the gym, you probably wouldn't be able to go to all that week. So that's why this approach is the most helpful if you're trying to implement fitness into your current lifestyle. So if you do implement this approach into your current lifestyle, I can guarantee you that you will be shocked on the results you can accomplish with the limited amount of time you spend in the gym. So at the end of the day, it's all about getting the most out of your workouts in the shortest amount of time. It's not about doing a bunch of half-ass sets, spending 2+ hours a day in the gym. 1, you're gonna be wasting your time, and 2, you're not really gonna see that many results because the intensity is not there. So that's it for this video, guys. If you have any questions, you can leave them down in the comments below, or you can send me a message on Instagram. I reply to everyone. If you wanna get more information about my coaching, you can jump on a call with me. There's a link in the description, and we could talk about what that might look like for you. If not, I suggest you go check out my Instagram as well as the rest of my YouTube videos, because I do a lot of stuff like this that's just straight value. So with that being said, I hope you guys found this video helpful, and I will catch you in the next one.